Good morning, class. I hope everyone is having a wonderful, marvelous Monday. Today we're going to talk about reduce, reuse, and recycle. We talked about it a little bit last week when we were talking about Earth Day and taking care of our earth. Well, today, the question of the day is, did you see any trash outside today? So if you see any trash outside in your yard today, try to be a responsible earthling or person who lives on earth and see if it's okay. Check with your parents. You may have to get some gloves on or whatever, but just try to clean up and pick up the trash and don't have litter all in our earth if you can help out. Okay, so anytime you have something, remember, if you're eating or if you're playing with something, don't just trash it on the ground. Make sure you put it in its proper place. And right now I'm going to show you a couple items. When we're talking about recycling, there's some certain things you can recycle. And I have a few with me today. I'm going to show you. I had breakfast this morning, and who can read this bag? Where did I have breakfast at? Bojangles. I know somebody said that. So let's spell Bojangles. 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 It says famous chicken and biscuits. But if you look at the top of this bag, it says, please put litter. Let me start over. Please put litter in its place. So where does litter or trash belong? In the trash. Right. Correct. But since we're talking about recycling, this is made out of what? Who can tell me what this bag is made out of? This is a certain material. It's paper. So if I had a recycling bin, I would put this in the one that says paper. And I put it in there, and that means when it gets to where it's going, somebody can reuse that paper and make something else out of it so that it's just not sitting in our earth, okay? Last night, for Mr. Tracy's birthday, we went and picked up dinner for him at his favorite restaurant, which is the Olive Garden. So they put some food in this carry-out container. Who knows what this container is made of? And this lid. Did you say plastic? This is plastic. So plastic would go in the plastic container bin to be recycled because it can be used again. Okay? And if you look very closely on this container, let's see if you can see it. It's black. It might be hard. But do you see this little triangle right here? Anytime you see that triangle, that's the symbol for reduce, reuse, and recycle. And that's letting me know that my container was made out of recycled plastic. So this is it was a new container, but they used old pieces of plastic, melted them down to make this container, okay? So this was something, it used to be something else once upon a time, but now it was my food container. And at home, I can reuse this if I would like. I can wash this and reuse it and maybe put a snack in it for a day, or I can take my lunch to work if I would like to, or out on a picnic, or I could store some leftovers in it and put it in my refrigerator, and once I use it, eat the food out, I wash it and do it again. That's called reusing, so I don't have to be wasteful. This is also something that can be recycled. It's glass. So sometimes you'll see a glass container. If you have a glass bottle or something that's made of glass and you're getting rid of it, you put it in the glass recycling bin, okay? And also, this is an aluminum pan. So aluminum or metal or tin can also be recycled and used for something else. So today, maybe while you're at home, you might want to look around on some of your items at home and talk about some things with your parents and see if you can find anything in your house that may have been made by recycled materials. If it has this little triangle, and most of the time you might see some little arrows on the triangle going around. That's letting you know they're reducing, reusing, and recycling this material. Okay, good job. Today I'm going to share a little story with you guys, and the name of the story is The Paper Bag Princess. The Paper Bag Princess. Okay, and this is a picture of what it's going to look like. The Paper Bag Princess is about a beautiful princess named Elizabeth who is going to marry a prince named Ronald. When a dragon attacks her castle, burns all of her clothes, and carries Ronald away, Elizabeth decides to save Ronald. How does she rescue a prince from a dragon? Let's read the book to find out how Elizabeth saves Ronald. So let's find out. The Paper Bag Princess. This story was written by Robert Munsch, and the art or the pictures were by Michael Marcinko. You see those names? The author's name is here, Robert Munsch, and this is the illustrator's name, okay? On the front cover of our book, The Paper Bag Princess. And if you look on the back, here's a picture of both of the guys. So this is the author, Robert Munsch. He's a very great children's author. I love him. And this is the illustrator. Again, his name is Michael Marcinko. And that is on the back cover of the book. Okay, here we go. The Paper Bag Princess. Elizabeth was a beautiful princess. She lived in a castle and had expensive princess clothes. She was going to marry a prince named Ronald. So what does it mean if her clothes were expensive? Do you know what the word expensive means? That was one of our vocabulary words this week. It means it cost a lot of money. So she has expensive princess clothes. Unfortunately, a dragon smashed her castle, burned all of her clothes with his fiery breath, and carried off Prince Ronald. Ooh, look at there. Look at poor Elizabeth now. Look at her. She looks bad. That dragon smashed or hit very hard and broke her castle. And look at that fiery breath. He just burned up everything, all her clothes, with his very hot and burning breath. And then he took Ronald. Boy, she's had a bad day. Elizabeth decided to chase the dragon and get Ronald back. She looked everywhere for something to wear, but the only thing she could find that was not burnt was a paper bag. So she put the paper bag on and followed the dragon. He was easy to follow because he left a trail of burnt forest and horses' bones. So he burned up everything as he went along. Look at the trees. All of the leaves are burnt off of the forest trees on the path that he took. Look at these bones. He burnt up the horses and everything with that fiery breath. And look at her paper bag dress. Did you notice that? So she repurposed or reused a paper bag and cut some sleeves out and a neck and put it on. Finally, Elizabeth came to a cave with a large door that had a huge knocker on it. She took hold of the knocker and banged on the door. The knocker is something that you use to knock on the door. It's a piece of metal, and I'll show it to you. And also, I didn't show you the trail, but I said path. The path or the trail the dragon took. You see it right here? This is the path or trail. Trail is another word for path. Okay? The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Well, a princess. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow. He slammed the door so fast that Elizabeth almost got her nose caught. So we know what it means when he slammed that door. He shut it very, very hard. Elizabeth grabbed the knocker and banged on the door again. Now in this picture, you can see the knocker. See this piece right here? You pull it back from the door and you hit it on the piece of metal that's attached to the door and it makes a knocking sound. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Go away. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." "Wait," shouted Elizabeth. "Is it true that you are the smartest and fiercest dragon in the whole world?" "Yes," said the dragon. And fiercest, you know what that means? That means the most wild and dangerous. If he's fierce, you do not want to mess with any dragon that's fierce. "Is it true," said Elizabeth, "that you can burn up 10 forests with your fiery breath?" "Oh, yes," said the dragon, and he took a huge, deep breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 50 forests. Look at that. Look at all that fiery breath. Would you want to be Elizabeth right now? I know I would not. "Fantastic," said Elizabeth. And the dragon took another huge breath and breathed out so much fire that he burned up 100 forests. "Magnificent," said Elizabeth. And the dragon took another huge breath, but this time nothing came out. The dragon didn't even have enough fire left to cook a meatball. Look at that. See that little puff coming out of his mouth now? He is all spent out. Elizabeth said, "Dragon, is it true that you can fly around the world in just 10 seconds? "Why, yes," said the dragon, and jumped up and flew all the way around the world in just 10 seconds. He was very tired when he got back, but Elizabeth shouted, "Fantastic! Do it again!" All you can see is the dust and clouds. He's gone flying around the world. What do you think she's doing? Does anybody know? Let's find out. So the dragon jumped up and flew around the world in just 20 seconds. When he got back, he was too tired to talk, and he laid down and went straight to sleep. Look at him, tongue hanging out of his mouth. He is tired. Even got his hand up here, like, whew. You get tired sometimes. Do you ever hold your chest? That looks like what he might be doing. Let's see what happens next. Elizabeth whispered very softly, "Hey, dragon." The dragon didn't move at all. She lifted up the dragon's ears and put her head right inside. She shouted as loud as she could, "Hey, dragon!" The dragon was so tired, he didn't even move. Look right here on this word. Let me find it on the camera. Right here. This is the word dragon. D-R-A-G-O-N. But after that dragon, can you see this little symbol? That's an exclamation mark. Anytime you see that, it's a straight line and a dot up under it. Anytime you see an exclamation mark when you're reading, that means you have to say it with excitement. Because she was very loud. It says, she shouted as loud as she could, "Hey, dragon!" So, see how I read that differently than when I normally read? Because I don't want to yell while I'm reading. But on that one, I have to get loud to let you know it was showing excitement. Elizabeth walked right over the dragon and opened the door to the cave. There was Prince Ronald. He looked at her and said, "Elizabeth, you are a mess." And look, see this where it says mess? Let me find it again. Elizabeth, you are a mess. See how I said mess? Because there's an exclamation mark. You smell like ashes. Your hair is all tangled and you are wearing a dirty old paper bag. Come back when you are dressed like a real princess. Now, what do you think about that? Mr. Ronald, what was he thinking? Ronald isn't happy to see the princess because of the way she looks. But is that nice how Ronald is acting with her? And Elizabeth doesn't like the way that he's acting either. You can tell by looking at her face that he's being very rude for somebody who's risked their life for him to try to save him. Ronald, said Elizabeth, your clothes are really pretty and your hair is very neat. You look like a real prince, but you are a bum. And they didn't get married after all. So she called him a bum because a bum is a name that you call someone when you want to hurt their feelings. So she was mad and upset from the way he treated her. So she said, you know what? You look very nice and clean, but you're a bum. Now, we don't want to be calling our friends that, do we? But she was very upset. But she knew that if he could treat her that way, she did not want to be married. So Elizabeth did not marry Ronald because of the way he treated her, the way he acted once she tried to rescue him. She done a great job at tricking that dragon, didn't she? She got him all out of fire, and she got him really tired. And then she set her plan in motion, and she completed the task to save Ronald. But Ronald was not thankful. He was not grateful. He was just being very rude and mean. So that's the story of the Paper Bag Princess. And I hope you guys enjoyed that story. And I chose that story because we're talking about reducing, reusing, and recycling. And she did a great job of using that bag after the dragon had burnt all of her clothes. Okay, so today, look around the house and see if you can find something that you could use or reuse. And let's make a musical instrument with it, okay? So I could use this bowl if I wanted to. I could put some beans in here or some rice, and I could shake it around and make me an instrument out of it. I could even use this paper, this aluminum or tin pan. If I was playing music, this would kind of sort of be like a tambourine. Okay? I could even use this paper if I really wanted to. You hear that sound? So like while the music was going, I could be making squishy sounds. Oh look, listen to this. That would make a good beat. I'm going to sing a song and play it so y'all can understand why I said this could make a music instrument, okay? I've been watching Little House on the Prairie at night, every night. I don't know why I got kind of caught back up in an old show that I watched when I was your age. So I've been enjoying watching it every night. So there's a man on there, and he sings this song all the time, okay? Old Dan Tucker was a mighty man. He washed his face with a frying pan, combed his hair with a wagon wheel, had a toothache in his heel. So get out of the way, old Dan Tucker, get out of the way. Old Dan Tucker, get out of the way. Old Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. You hear that? Did y'all like my instrument? Okay, I'm going to do it with the tin pan. Old Dan Tucker was a mighty man. He washed his face with the frying pan, combed his hair with the wagon wheel, had a toothache in his heel. So get out of the way, old Dan Tucker, get out of the way. Old Dan Tucker, get out of the way. Old Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. All right, so now it's your turn. help your parents find something that you could use to make an instrument out of. And you're going to reuse it, put whatever you need to put in it, or change it up however you need to change it, or use it as it is. I used 2 things just the way they were and made me a great instrument. So you can do that. And on Thursday, when you guys Zoom with Miss Kelsey, she'll be Zooming with you this week. I won't be on there with you guys, but she'll be on there. Miss Freeman will be on there. You guys bring your instrument so you can show it to the class, and hopefully you guys will do a song and everybody can play their instrument during the song, okay? All right. I love you. Have a great time. Bye-bye.